Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the 2013 Subaru BRZ. Alright, so before we get into this review, I want to talk a little bit about what I'm going to be doing for all these reviews. If you've seen Doug DeMiro, and I'm sure you have, he does this thing called the Doug score, and I'm going to be doing something similar called the Jake score. So every car will go through this and we'll test it on these 10 categories, each being 10 points each. So let me go through each one. I'll put them on the screen, and then at the end we'll talk about it and score it up. So the first three, we have styling, practicality, and comfortableness, and those just kind of have to do with the general, just kind of how it is as a car. So next we have acceleration and handling, and this kind of caters more towards sports cars, but I'm going to be running every car through this. And then the thing I've always thought lacked in car reviews was that they test them in their like natural environment. So the BRZ, they would test on a back road, an SUV, they would test on the highway. But I think every car needs to be tested, because unless you're buying, let's say, a BRZ for just the weekend, you're going to be driving it in all situations. So we're going to do highway driving, back road driving, and stoplight traffic driving. So those will be the three categories for that. And then finally, this category has kind of two parts, and each one's going to be worth 5 points. We're going to talk about how it is through a drive-through, and then how it is after the drive-through. So kind of what happens when you take this through the drive-through, and if you're worried about curbing a wheel, or just kind of how it is to talk to the window or reach food in the window. And then post drive-through is how it is to eat in this after you get the food. So cup holders, space to put food, how worried you are about messing something up. And then finally, the last 10 points will be thrill level. So that's just kind of how you feel driving it. If you feel like it's going, like this car feels like you're going a lot faster than you really are, and same with the Miata. So those are the categories we're going to be talking about, and I'll be doing every car through these, and at the end we'll tally them all up. But in other news, I wanted to talk about this car and some upcoming, let's call it BRZ 2.0, and I'm going to be doing a very big upgrade to this, not performance-wise, but visually. And if you have any ideas, leave them in the comments below. It's still in the works. I'm most likely going to be ordering it soon, and it'll probably take a few weeks to come. But when it does, we're definitely going to be making a video on it and getting people's opinions, and I just think it's going to turn this car into a whole different animal. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with this color and Subaru's history. So yeah, like I said, if you have any ideas, put them in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get on with this review. All right, so starting off with the first category in styling, this is a really great looking car, especially the color on this. We've got the World Rally blue option. I think you can also get it in a metallic gray, a black, red, and yellow too, if you get the series yellow. And I just love the styling on this, especially with the engine in the front, rear wheel drive, that coupe look with the two doors. It's just fantastic. We've got 17-inch alloy wheels in the front, which they could be a little bit bigger, but honestly the silver just matches really well, especially with that fender accent. Now the front bumper is kind of my favorite. It's very aggressive. We've kind of got almost a front lip design, and the headlights are also very aggressive. If we go around towards the back, you can see the taillights. They look fantastic, and we've got a little spoiler in the back too. Overall, really great looking car, and the interior too with the seats, it goes very well, especially with the red accented stitching. All right, so continuing on with the practicality of this, it's not fantastic. I mean, this is a sports car, and for what you get, it's pretty good. You can put down the back seats, so the trunk actually is fairly large. You're supposed to be able to fit 4 wheels and tires in the back, which I was able to. So like I said, it's the two-door design, 2+2. The back seats, there are back seats, but they're not that practical. I fit one person in the back, but it's really cramped. So practicality-wise, this isn't the best. All right, so I'm gonna test getting into the back seat and just show you how unpractical they are. So right now I'm sitting in the front seat. I've got plenty of leg room. So I'm gonna move the seat up until my knees are pretty much on the center console. Then, you don't look good doing this, but recline it forward. Get in the back, and then you basically need to tuck the front of your feet under the front seat, and right when it's painful, you need to take this and just recline it, and then they're gonna want it back a little bit more for comfortableness. And so I'm gonna sit back. My head is going to rub on the top. I mean, it's already touching the top right now. And so that gives the person in the front basically enough room to do nothing, and the person in the back is very uncomfortable. And now for the even better part, I'm gonna attempt to get out of here without looking like a moron. It's not the most practical in the back, but you can fit someone back there if you really need to. It's more for kind of putting, I would say, like bags back there, backpacks, computers, whatever you need to put back there, groceries. All right, so next for comfortableness, I personally think this is a fantastic car for how comfortable it is. I mean, you're getting a sports car and the suspension is kind of stiff. So, I mean, you have to expect that, but for what this is, it's fantastic. The seats are well bolstered. They're nice leather and Alcantara. I have heated seats on the inside. It's just great. The steering wheel fits really well. Overall, it's fairly comfortable, and I mean, as long as you're not sitting in the back, there's plenty of room for your knees. All right, so on to acceleration. The engine in here, it's not the most powerful. We've got a 2-liter boxer putting about 200 horsepower, and with rear wheel drive, you're not gonna expect anything too crazy. About a 7-second 0 to 60 time. But I mean, it feels quick for the weight of this at about 2,800 pounds. It's a light car, so that 200 horsepower means a lot more than a almost 4,000 pound sedan making about the same. So definitely not slow, but it's not on your quicker end of sports cars. All right, so onto the interior with the handling of this. It's fantastic. I mean, this car is made to handle. The acceleration isn't there, but the handling and the near 50-50 weight distribution is fantastic. I'll talk a little bit more about the handling when we go on some back roads, but I mean, it grips fantastic. The center of gravity is so low because it's a boxer engine. They were able to mount it extremely low. I mean, it's pretty much at my knees or below when I'm driving. All right, so next we're gonna go and drive on the highway, then some back roads, and then through some stoplight traffic. But before we do that, we need to get the exhaust on this because it wouldn't be complete without that. All right, so I've been on the highway for probably about 2 miles now, and overall, it's a very fantastic car on the highway. The power's decent enough that you don't need to downshift when you're passing somebody. The visibility is the only thing it really lacks. It's really hard to see out of this blind spot because of the B-pillar being so big, but overall, decent car, nothing fantastic. It doesn't ride like you're on a cloud or something. I mean, you definitely feel the bumps. Steering's fine on the highway though. All right, so getting on a back road, I'm in 3rd gear. I'm actually gonna downshift into 2nd real quick. All right, we're in 2nd gear going about 33. Let's just punch and see what happens. I mean, the acceleration isn't the best, but it's definitely good. I'm gonna have to upshift because, you know, gas mileage. All right, so I've done some city driving, I've done some back street driving, and I've done some highway driving, and I'll give my reviews on that. But now we're headed to a fast food place where we're gonna test out how this does in a drive-through.
Thank you for choosing Wendy's.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. So we got our food. The drink, everything kind of goes in here well. The drink is kind of the problem. All right, so like you heard, I just got the 4 for $4 medium drink, not anything too big. And we've got these cup holders right here. The nice thing about the cup holders though, is you can move them, so you can move them up a little bit. So it's kind of, it's versatile, but at the same time, it's not the best. All right, so I'm gonna enjoy this healthy Wendy's. I'm gonna do the scoring now. So let's head to the Jake score. All right, so starting in the daily category, we have styling, and this receives a 7 out of 10 for its great looks. The World Rally Blue complements the car, and the 2+2 look is just fantastic. On the practicality, this receives a 4. It's decent, but it's also a sports car and you get what you get. Comfortableness is decent. It gets a 6 out of 10. Road noise is a little much, and it doesn't have all the creature comforts that a lot of the new luxury brands have. Add that up and it's a 17 out of 30 in the daily category. On to performance, the acceleration 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, and it receives a 6 out of 10. Handling is near perfect, and I gave it a 9 out of 10. Add those up and you get 15. On to the different types of driving, I gave highway a 7, backroads a 10, and 4 for stoplight traffic. This car was designed for the back roads and wasn't designed for traffic. However, you can still daily drive this car as I do, and it makes it an all-around great sports car for a 21 in the total score for different types of driving. Onto the special categories, the drive-thru, I gave it a 4 through the drive-thru and a 2 for post-drive-thru. Cup holder space is kind of annoying, and in order to reach the cups, you kind of have to do a weird angle with your arm. Thrill level is fantastic. This car was meant to be driven, and the connection you feel to the road is just fantastic. It receives an 8 out of 10. Add it all up, and you get a 53 out of 100 for the 2013 Subaru BRZ Limited.